Good afternoon. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive, and I'm pleased to be here with the CEO of NuEnergen, Kevin Hamilton, the Westchester County Director of Sustainability, Peter McCart, and the Commissioner of the Department of Environmental Facilities, Vincent Capecchi, and a number of individuals from both the county and NuEnergen to talk about a very innovative arrangement that's been made between Westchester County and NuEnergen LLC. This agreement that's been signed is not the first such of its nature. New York City and the MTA have also signed on to a similar program, and so we're very happy to have the opportunity to work with NuEnergen. And this provides the county with demand response program services that may earn the county millions of dollars over the context of this contract, as well as provide an opportunity to further enhance our efforts for sustainability. The demand response programs offer a financial incentive to owners of facilities, in this case Westchester County, which can reduce the need for kilowatts during times of high stress on the region's electric grid. Normally think in terms of summertime heat waves when everyone is pulling electricity off the grid. Westchester County is in a position where if it can avoid pulling energy off the grid during that period of time, then we reduce the number of brownouts or potential blackouts, and at the same time there's a revenue source to Westchester County. It may earn as much as $2 million. We're not looking at this primarily as a revenue stream, but this would be the first of its kind revenue stream, and we've talked many times about trying to find non-property tax revenue streams to help run the county, and this effort is one of them. NuEnergen approached us and made terrific sense about the arrangements they've already had in New York City and elsewhere. The New York, New Jersey Port Authority and the Metropolitan Transit Authority, along with the City of New York, are major governmental and authorities and agencies that are already contracted with NuEnergen. So we're very happy that Westchester can join that, and the money that is available to us is part of it. And then part of it as well is that this will reduce the need for our infrastructure for fossil fuels, since we don't have to generate the same amount or use the same amount, that we don't have to necessarily put together the additional money to achieve that type of energy. As part of this program, the county remains on standby, which will lower energy usage during times of stress. And while we focus on days of sweltering heat, it might also occur in any kind of an emergency situation where a storm knocks out a certain amount of power and the grid is stressed on that. On those high stress days, the county gets a 24-hour advance notice of a demand response event beginning, and we would reduce our energy at some of the non-essential facilities where we can reduce lighting or we can shift kilowatt load to on-site generators. Now, there's a number of different facilities in Westchester County. We have a very diverse holding here. We're at one of our wastewater treatment plants, far and away the largest of our wastewater treatment plants here in Yonkers. There are other such plants around the county, two others on the Hudson River side, 4 on the Sound Shore side. We have Westchester County Center. We have 55 parks all across the county. All of them have different footprint of programs and services, and how much energy they draw are different. We have office buildings in Mount Vernon as well as in White Plains and other locations, and we have a campus in Valhalla that includes things that have a permanent need for electricity, such as the corrections facility, the jail. But there are other facilities that we have on that campus that have the ability to reduce or shift its energy load. So it's a very interesting effort. We're going to hear next from the CEO of NuEnergen, Kevin Hamilton, who really is the visionary behind the idea. And then we'll hear from Peter McCart, who's our Director of Sustainability within the county, works on the 9th floor of the county office building. He's been actively involved in this negotiation. And then finally, our Commissioner for Environmental Facilities, Vincent Capecchi, who has served in this capacity. He's also previously served as a Commissioner of DPW for the county, so he has a good broad idea of the real estate assets that the county has and how the county would adjust its energy demand to meet the needs of this program. So next, Mr. Hamilton, CEO of NuEnergen. Kevin?
Thank you. Thank you, County Executive Latimer. By the way, that was a very fine explanation of demand response services. I'm happy to be here. My name is Kevin Hamilton, the CEO of NuEnergen. We're located in White Plains, and with me are 2 members of my team, Mr. Stephen Campbell, our Senior Client Services Manager, supporting the county government of Westchester with this demand response program initiative, and Mr. Anton Nakaj, our Senior Director of Operations for Demand Response Programs, both of whom are residents of Westchester County, and Anton being a resident here of Yonkers in addition. So this is an exciting announcement for the County of Westchester. By participating in demand response, the county is taking a quite substantial step on the environmental sustainability front. So some of you may know that for a few hours on any given year, the electric power grid is at risk of failure. And what Westchester County is doing by participating in demand response, just as you said, George, as the City of New York is doing, the MTA, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey is doing, is you are participating, your facilities are participating in an environmental sustainability program that allows this region to avoid a blackout or a brownout. You're acting as a good citizen, and it's financially very attractive for the citizens of the County of Westchester in that by participating in this program, you are compensated for being on standby to curtail electrical load. Our expectation is that the county will earn in the vicinity of $2 million a year moving forward, and we look forward to optimizing those revenues to the benefit of the taxpayers here in the county. So far, we have 3 wastewater treatment facilities, including the one that we're standing in now, enrolled in demand response. Stephen and Anton, with support from other members of our team, have looked at the entire county facilities portfolio. As you've mentioned, we have other facilities, we have identified other facilities that will be enrolled this upcoming summer in demand response programs, and that includes the prison, the county center, the Westchester County Administration Building, Ride Playland, and other facilities. And so we're really very excited about this program. I would be remiss if I did not mention Peter McCart, the county's Director of Environmental Conservation and Sustainability. Peter, you've been a very, very strong advocate of the county participating in demand response programs because you see the benefits from an environmental sustainability standpoint. And I think that's highly laudable, and I congratulate you on your success here. And NuEnergen, as an employer here in the county, located in White Plains, we're thrilled to be serving you, your administration, and we look forward to doing more with you in the future. So thank you.
Kevin, thank you very much. Thank you. Before I introduce Peter, I want to make sure that we note the presence of County Legislator Christopher Johnson, who's with us here. He represents the west side of Yonkers as committee chair in the Board of Legislators, and also very active on all of the issues that affect Yonkers, of which this is one of the biggest presence that the county has in Yonkers, but not limited only to this. And as Kevin pointed out, every one of those assets, whether it's Sprain Ridge Pool or Tibbetts Brook Pool or any of the other things, Chris and his colleagues that represent Yonkers are very much interested in how they're affected by this. So Chris, thank you for being with us today and participating in the program. A number of years ago, Catherine Parker, who's a county legislator and now majority leader of the board, advocated for a position to be created in the county administration under the prior administration for a person who would handle environmental and energy issues. And it was felt by the board of that time that having a person tasked with that responsibility is necessary. The county government is not structured the way the state government is, where we have a Department of Environmental Conservation. We have a Department of Environmental Facilities, which manages facilities like this, but not necessarily deal with broad-based issues of the environment and energy. And so in asking Peter McCart to take on those responsibilities, he has a diverse background in business, and in his volunteer life, he's head of the Eastchester Environmental Committee. He's been very active in Sustainable Westchester as a leader, and so he brings the sensitivity and the experience on both environment and energy issues to this task. We're very happy to have him here. We're very happy that he played such a critical role in making this happen today. Peter?
Thank you, George. I just want to thank George for having the vision to really move forward with this program. It's innovative. It's going to be extremely valuable. I see a lot of wins here for everybody. This is nothing that a lot of the facilities aren't already doing. They have backup generators, or they draw down their energy at some point or another. Now we're going to get compensated for it through programs with the federal programs as well as the state. So I just want to thank George for moving this forward. I also want to put a big thank you out to all the guys that are in all the facilities that are going to be taking this on. They're going to be doing a little bit of extra work, not a whole lot of extra work, but to make this happen, it's good for everybody. It's good for the county. It's good for the constituents, and it's good for the whole state. But thank you very much, George. I really appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And then finally, then we'll open it up to any questions that you have. Vincent Kapicki, who's a professional engineer, is our commissioner of the Department of Environmental Facilities. He served in the prior administration, and as was our philosophy when we came into office a little over a year ago, we wanted to look at those individuals who were working for county government that we felt were appropriate professionals and had accomplished things in their assignment, and maintain them in positions or assign them as necessary to be helpful to them and helpful to the county. It's very important to note that, because many times when an administration takes over from another one, particularly if there's a change in political party affiliation, everybody associated with the past administration are let go, and we felt that Vince and others of his colleagues were professionals and would add to the work of this new administration, and we're very happy with his management and his team's management of these facilities. They're very tricky facilities. They impact the neighborhoods that they're in. They represent part of how we provide public health by dealing with sanitation, but we also have to make sure that the effluent from these plants in the Hudson River and on the Long Island Sound are as clean as they can be, so we maintain the environmental impact of this. So this is all part of what keeps Vince up late at night worrying about these things, and I'm happy he's worrying about it as well as I. So Commissioner Vincent Kapicki. Thank you, George.
Thank you. Just this is a very exciting project, and we're going to be working very closely with NuEnergen. Thank you very much. I have Jagdish Mistry here, who is a manager who's he's in charge of all the plants on the Hudson side. We have Tony Delval, who is our person who's in charge of all the plants on the Sound Shore side, and Jeff Bryant, thank you. Also, he's the plant chief here. So we'll be very looking forward to working very closely with you guys in the future, not only at these plants but also at any other of our facilities. Thank you.
So we'll open up to any questions that you have for us as a group. Any of the individuals, or you're welcome to direct a question to as a group.
What about the price tag again? Well, hearing that how much you're going to be compensating, what kind of number are we looking at?
Well, it's an estimate in its first year, and I'm sure Kevin may want to add to this because he's had the ability to look at how compensation and usage has gone with the other entities that they've contracted with. In our first year, we low estimated in the budget. We set aside a revenue stream of $800,000, assuming that as a baseline, we wouldn't fall below that number. That would help us balance the budget as we have. If the numbers wind up in excess of that, we're a winner on the financial side of it. I suppose what it comes down to, and we have to work through the operational elements of this, which is why Vincent and his team are so critical to know how quickly we make the transition, depending on the information and how NuEnergen operates with this. But we've heard that the numbers could be as high as $2 million in the first year, but again, we budgeted $800,000. Anything above that for us is good news, and certainly if we reach the upper numbers, if that's possible, that's all better for the taxpayers of Westchester. Kevin, do you want to comment at all, since you've had other experiences?
There will be. So I think that your estimate of revenue is conservative and reasonable. So as we said earlier, there are 3 facilities enrolled in demand response programs right now. We expect this summer to be 15. That number to grow to 15 different facilities that the county owns enrolled in demand response. We expect that in 2020 that number may grow beyond that. And so we have identified between 9 and 10 megawatts of demand response curtailment opportunity among the 15 facilities in question. If those facilities are enrolled, which we expect to happen, we think that the revenue expectation should be approaching $2 million a year for the county. It is a recurring revenue stream. So this is a revenue stream that will repeat in the out years, so long as facilities are enrolled, and it is our mutual goal to grow that as much as possible for the taxpayer.